From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good morning. Happy Friday, almost to the weekend. And here's the return of the fog, as we could have some patchy areas. I've already seen that for this morning. Could see the same thing for tomorrow morning as well. Unfortunately, keeping the forecast mostly dry over the next 7 days. A little shower chances for today, though, and high temperatures staying very mild for this time of the year, up into the 40s and 50s. Here's a current look at the fog right now, seeing a very dense area over the Hermiston region, and then also into the Kittitas and Yakima Valley. Some very dense fog for the foothills of Kittitas County into the Cascades. If you run into that fog, take it slow, use the low beams. Most of this probably not freezing fog, as the temperatures are well above freezing this morning, but it's still chilly. 39 for the Tri-Cities, 38 for Yakima, 36 in Ellensburg. First Alert radar is just showing you some very light stuff out there for the time being. Most of us are dry. So here's your umbrella cast for this Friday for the Tri-Cities from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. We'll have low end chances of some rainfall, but it will end up being a mostly dry and mild day, as high temperature is going to get into the 40s and 50s, but fog could return for tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll time that out coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, an update on the proposed group home for registered sex offenders in Kennewick. The manager previously saying the sheriff shut down the idea of opening in a rural Findlay area, but now we're learning that's not completely true. We have what the Benton County Sheriff is saying this morning.
And students at several Tri-Cities high schools are planning on walking out of class today to protest the recent ICE movements. We have the details.
Also coming up, Senate leaders scrambling to avoid a government shutdown just ahead of a midnight deadline. We have the very latest developments coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica DeLal.
I'm Jade Elliott. It is Friday, January 30th. Did it feel like January was like
87 days long? Yeah.
End?
Is it finally February tomorrow?
No, Sunday.
No, tomorrow's the 31st. Oh,
we have
goodness.
One
okay.
more 72-hour day.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, that's February. What it's felt like. And I think it feels like that every year.
It does.
I think there's some science behind it. I can't tell you what it is right now, but something about new beginnings and we're expecting more.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I like that. Okay. Well, a lot of news to get to this morning, of course.
And we do want to start with continuing coverage on the proposed Level 3 sex offender transition home. This is set to open in Kennewick, and it continues to draw pushback from residents.
So the home's operator, Joe Field, has previously said that he tried to open the home in a rural Findlay location, but he says that didn't work, claiming the Benton County Sheriff's Office told him it wasn't an option. Well, Sheriff Mike Clark is speaking out and saying that that's not completely accurate. He says that his office doesn't have the power to block where the home goes.
Just like anything else, somebody can make a comment or say something, and it can be taken any number of ways. And I can understand the community there that may hear that, oh, well, they had a house out in Findlay, but now they're here. And so it's the sheriff's office's fault. It's the county's fault. And you know that wasn't quite the scenario there, but I understand how that conclusion could be drawn very quickly, because rest assured, if it was that simple for me, within the confines of Benton County, period, we would have just waved that wand.
He also says it's likely the Findlay property didn't meet resource requirements, but he clarified that it was not from law enforcement objections. He also adds that any changes would have to come from lawmakers.
Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, we are going to hear from Sheriff Clark again, and we're also going to take a look at some similar situations that have happened on the west side of the state as well.
And turning now to Richland, where residents could see higher utility bills soon. City leaders are considering increases to sewer, stormwater, and solid waste rates.
Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen says officials claim there's a good reason behind the rising costs.
Richland's sewer, stormwater, and solid waste utility rates haven't been updated in more than a decade, and city leaders say the impact is catching up. City policy requires rates to cover the cost of service for each customer class, but a recent review found current rates are falling short, especially when it comes to maintenance, day-to-day operations, and future infrastructure projects.
So we developed this rate plan, one, to minimize the amount at which we're raising or changing rates, and but to balance the financial needs to keep our system operating at optimal levels.
The city hired FCS Group, a consulting firm that specializes in public utility finance. The study reviewed operating costs, reserve funds, and long-term needs for both sewer and stormwater systems.
It's to replace what we have.
Okay.
It's end of, we're at kind of a critical time
Okay.
of replacing some end-of-life components.
The study found the city would need to increase stormwater rates by up to 36% to keep up. City officials say that would mean just over $1.50 more on monthly bills. And then the following year would only go up 2%. Mayor Teresa Richardson says while the work is necessary, she knows residents are feeling the strain.
If we do go ahead with these kinds of increases, we have got to double down on our communication effort. If people in the community say, look at Richland, they're increasing our rates 36%, that's going to make people explode.
City leaders say any rate increase would go through a public review process before final approval. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
And no final decisions have been made yet, as city leaders say they'll continue reviewing the data before they bring any rate increases back for a public vote.
5:06, and looking ahead to later today, we're learning that students from at least 5 Tri-Cities high schools are planning on walking out of class this morning in protest to the actions of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. So we know that students at Kamiakin High School right here in Kennewick were among the first to organize the protest after they say they got inspiration from last week's walkout at Pasco and Delta High Schools. Organizers from Kamiakin say they plan to meet at the corner of Meadowline and Edison at noon before marching to Clearwater Avenue to get their message out.
I'll talk to my parents about politics and they say, well, what are you doing about it? And it's just like, we don't have to wait till we can vote. Like, we can start doing stuff now that proves that we are informed and we are involved.
So protests are also organized by students at Richland, Hanford, Kennewick, and Southridge High Schools. Supporters of ICE say they believe the agency is helping keep the community safe by arresting criminals.
5:07, and now to a crime alert. A Pasco man is under arrest after a police standoff yesterday morning at the Tri-Cities Vista Apartments. So Pasco police say they arrived to the apartment complex around 11 a.m. and this was after getting a report that a suspect in a recent domestic violence case had entered the area. Virgie Robinson Elementary School was placed in a secure and teach mode, and officers say the suspect wouldn't come out at first, which led them to deploy a drone and canine units. By 12:30 p.m., the man surrendered and the school lifted its secure and teach order.
5:07, taking you to Yakima now, where the Triumph Treatment Center is launching a new all-women's substance abuse facility.
It's called Inspirations, and officials say it'll provide a unique model of care, one that'll meet people wherever they're at in their recovery journey. This holistic integrated care system will open up 16 to 34 beds for intensive substance abuse patients.
Officials say its doors will be open to any woman in the state. They also say this facility was strategically planned out
to incorporate medical care into the concept of holistic care. So in addition to receiving mental health and SUD services, we're providing on-site medical care through the addition of a medical suite that was created on-site so that our women will be able to remain in services on site and get their basic medical care needs met as well.
In the future, the facility hopes to expand to 48 beds when the time is right.
Officials also say they still have some final touches to add to the facility, and they will begin to take in patients by March 2nd.
And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, Senate leaders are scrambling this morning to avoid a government shutdown as the deadline to pass funding measures looms overhead. The latest developments coming up in your national news.
And giving you a live look outside this morning, this one from our dust levels camera in Pasco. When we come back, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert is going to break down your first alert forecast.
This President's Day, upgrade every room for less at More Furniture, with sofas starting at $395, beds starting at $195, and mattresses starting at $329. We have styles for every budget. Plus, enjoy free delivery and 0% financing with no money down for 61 months. Shop the President's Day sale today at a More Furniture store near you or shop now at morefurniture.com.
Cle Elum offers something special in every season.
An absolute adventure. Every single day is different. It's that sense of community, I would say, that really drives us. It's why we want to live here. It's what we love the most about being here.
It's a really beautiful small town with mountains and everything you ever want to do or adventure.
There are a lot of great restaurants, a few wineries. There's a lot to do and see here. Cheers to Cle Elum.
Learn more at centralwashingtonoutdoor.com.
SDCU and Apple Valley News Now honor local volunteers by sharing their stories and donating $1,000 to their favorite charities. To nominate someone who's making a difference in Benton and Franklin counties, click on Volunteers Count under the contest tab at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some, gimme Some Bagels.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino in Yakima. Experience the thrill of our Vegas-style casino, featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and earn exciting rewards. Enjoy games like Blackjack, Pai Gow, and High Card Flush. While you're here, don't forget to unwind with a drink at our cozy bar or enjoy a meal from our restaurant. Come discover Yakima's ultimate entertainment destination, Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
It looked like she fought, like she was talking from the grave.
Tonight,
a young girl brutally murdered.
Every single person in her life was a suspect. Oh my God.
All new 2020, tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
E.T. and Extra, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Extra, extra. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We continue to track those areas of patchy fog for this morning. Could come back for tonight into tomorrow morning as well. So that area of very dense fog over the Hermiston area right now, and then also over Manastash Ridge, and then up into the foothills of Kittitas and Yakima counties. We are thinking that the bulk of this should lift around lunchtime, but if this started to filter into the Tri-Cities, I would not be too shocked. And then for tonight, the same areas, the valleys and the basin, at least that's what model consensus is suggesting. And of course, per usual, fog is very difficult to forecast around this time of the year, but it looks like that could return after 10 p.m. And then again for tomorrow, the same areas, the valleys, the basin, looks as if that could hang around until 12 p.m. If you run into those areas of fog, use the low beams, and of course, just take it slow out there. Here's your day planner forecast for this Friday for the Yakima Valley. Low wind shower chances for today, and high temperature is going to be fairly mild for this time of the year. Let's take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. We start off in the Cascades, where rain chances are going to be likely, much more likely as opposed to lower elevations. Highs going to end up in the 30s and 40s. Then for the Kittitas Valley, we'll end up in the low to mid 40s. Looks like mid to upper 40s for the Yakima Valley, maybe some of us touching 50 degrees. For the lower Columbia Basin, will also be within a couple degrees of 50 degrees. We'll take you down to the Blue Foothills, where we're actually going to be a good deal warmer. Look at Pilot Rock, could be a little bit closer to 60 degrees towards the very end of January. Very abnormal stuff. And then 40s and 50s for the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains. Also low end rain chances here. But it looks as if the dry weather is unfortunately going to continue over the next 7 days. I'll tell you why that's the case coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. 5:13 in your national headlines this morning. Senate leaders are scrambling to avoid a government shutdown ahead of a midnight deadline to pass funding measures.
CNN's Reed Binion has the story.
We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close.
President Donald Trump expressing hope for a government funding deal ahead of the Friday deadline to avert a shutdown. Senate leaders reached a deal to fund critical agencies through September, but the agreement only provides temporary funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which includes Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Instead, funding DHS for 2 weeks while the parties debate broader reforms for ICE.
We need to rein in ICE and end the violence.
Democrats want DHS funding to come with changes to ICE tactics, including tightening the use of warrants, ending roving expanding patrols, making ICE agents remove masks and wear body cameras, and enforcing a code of conduct comparable to force policies for state and local law enforcement. Even if the Senate votes Friday, final passage could be delayed till Monday, when the House of Representatives returns from recess. That makes a partial government shutdown likely this weekend, less than 3 months after the end of a record-long full shutdown. Several agencies have already been fully funded for the rest of the year, so this shutdown would look different. For example, there wouldn't be a risk of tens of millions of people losing SNAP benefits, but it could have an impact on air travel, and federal workers could miss paychecks. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are hoping that won't happen.
There's a lot of earnest work going on in a bipartisan way to try to avert a shutdown.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And we'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more, but keep it here because coming up next, Josh Colbreth is back with how your weather is looking. That's all coming up in that full First Alert weather forecast in just a few minutes.
Visit Cle Elum anytime for spectacular views, fantastic food, and shopping unlike anywhere else. Let's talk with some local businesses. This is the heart of Cle Elum.
It's that sense of community, I would say, that really drives us. It's why we want to live here. It's what we love the most about being here. An absolute adventure. Every single day is different.
It's a really beautiful small town with mountains and everything you ever want to do or adventure. And there's lots of snowmobiling in the winter, lots of hiking, kayaking.
Every single corner of the globe, they all end up in Cle Elum for one reason or another, whether it's to enjoy the outdoors, to enjoy the small town feel. There are a lot of great restaurants, a few wineries, a lot of great bars. There's a lot to do and see here. Cheers to Cle Elum.
Learn more at centralwashingtonoutdoor.com. Experiencing the outdoors is in our nature.
Join your Tri-City Americans for Pink Ice Night, Saturday, February 7th at the Toyota Center. The puck drops at 6:05 as the Americans play on pink colored ice in support of the fight against breast cancer. Special pink ice jerseys and exclusive merchandise will be available. That's Pink Ice Night, Saturday, February 7th. Don't miss a meaningful night of hockey.
Even on an antidepressant, there are days I feel stuck in my head. Depression symptoms like sadness and low energy can hold me back. I wanted to break through. I asked about Vraylar. Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant significantly reduces overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone.
Not for elderly with dementia-related psychosis due to increased risk of death or stroke. Report changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts to your doctor. Antidepressants may increase these in those under 25. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may not go away. High blood sugar may lead to coma or death. Weight gain and high cholesterol may occur. Difficulty moving, uncontrolled movements, tremors, feeling like you need to move, nausea, constipation, insomnia, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are common. Side effects may not appear for weeks.
Vraylar, breaking through to relief. Ask about Vraylar.
Prosser's most colorful adventure is at Splat It. Throw paint, get messy, and have a blast. For kids, adults, parties, and nights out, Splat It has it all. Book now at splatitnw.com.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Our forecast is going to be abnormally dry over the next 7 days, and let's show you why. So this is a very wide view look of our atmosphere right now, and you can see these spinning blue areas of high pressure indicated by the blue H's there. But what high pressure does around this time of the year is it shields us from very active weather, and that's exactly what's going to happen over the next 7 days as these two areas are, in essence, going to stay put. So let's go ahead and, well, let's take a closer look right now, not the 30,000-foot view, but the closer look is it looks fairly dry out there for this morning, but we're going to put this into motion with Futurecast for the next 48 hours. And by the time we get to lunchtime, you can see we will have some light areas of precip that are going to be moving across the region. Looking pretty dry by midnight as we transition into Saturday, but for Saturday morning, maybe a few additional light showers. Then the rest of the day on Saturday looking fairly pleasant dry, even a decent amount of sunshine for some locations. But then by the time we get to Sunday morning, well, late Saturday night into early on Sunday morning, here comes another round. It looks like more moderate to heavy precip for the mountains, but pretty light stuff for the lower elevations if you're lucky enough to even get precip on Sunday. I'm keeping the forecast dry in the Tri-Cities really after today, which is not great news when it comes to the drought. We'll have a lot more to say about those numbers coming up a little bit later in the show. And our high temperatures staying very mild over the next 7 days. For today, we're going to be in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations. Overnight low is going to drop down, I believe, into the 30s and 40s for lower elevations. And for the mountains, even seeing some 30s and 40s as well. These high temperatures not really ebbing or flowing that much over the next 7 days. There will be a little bump up in temperatures from Saturday to Sunday. Looks like our warmest days or our mildest days are going to be Monday and Tuesday in the Tri-Cities, as we'll end up in the mid-50s, which is about 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. Those overnight lows are also going to be warmer than normal for late January and early February. We're going to bounce between 33 to 35. Okay, here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Small shower chances today, then an abnormally dry and mild forecast to start February. For Yakima, we could see small rain chances come back for Sunday and Monday. And then for Ellensburg, the same thing that we're tracking in the Yakima Valley. Small shower chance today, then maybe more for Sunday and Monday. In Hermiston, maybe a shower or two for today, but then turning dry once again with highs mostly hovering around 50. And finally for Walla Walla, the possibility of a few light showers Friday and Saturday, but an otherwise dry stretch over the next 7 days. Now you're taking a live look at Pasco. This view coming courtesy of the Dust Devils. Thanks for waking up with Good Morning Northwest. We're always on your side.
Today, too many of us walk away from our primary care appointments feeling rushed and unheard.
We were frustrated too, so we decided to change the quality of healthcare here in the Tri-Cities.
At Primary Care at the PC, we take the time to truly listen. With 1 hour-long appointments, we care about the whole you. You don't have to be a member to be our patient, but once you're here, you might want to be.
Now welcoming new patients. Book your appointments online or call us at 509-783-5465. Primary Care at the PC. Play hard, live well.
If you're hurt in an accident, the fight for justice begins.
But you don't have to face it alone.
Abeda Nelson attorneys are the accident experts.
Taking on insurance companies and winning for our clients, because your fight
is our fight.
We've been doing this for over 40 years.
We don't quit and we don't back down.
From medical bills to lost wages,
we'll work to get everything you deserve.
Abeda Nelson, we take your injury personally.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino in Yakima. Experience the thrill of our Vegas-style casino, featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and earn exciting rewards. Enjoy games like Blackjack, Pai Gow, and High Card Flush. While you're here, don't forget to unwind with a drink at our cozy bar or enjoy a meal from our restaurant. Come discover Yakima's ultimate entertainment destination, Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
Attention please, about to start the show, better take your seats.
Now earn up to 4 times the rewards with the ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card. It's the credit card from the credit union you love.
Dear Winter, we're coming. Our squad of vehicles, with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of our game. Bundle up. Toyota. Toyota has 25 all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive vehicles, more than any other brand. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
A waterfall, a footbridge, and more. Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News now at 6 Tuesday.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In your entertainment news, we're looking at a movie that explores the origin story of John Rambo.
And all the casting news, from the iconic big screen warrior to a reverend mythological figure.
Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
We felt it was important to pick up immediately where we left off. And
Noah Centineo is going back to the beginning. The Recruit star is set for the title role in John Rambo, an origin story for the character famously played by Sylvester Stallone. Production on John Rambo has begun in Bangkok, Thailand.
I feel like today everything has to grab you so quickly.
Phil Dunster has grabbed onto a role in How to Train Your Dragon 2. The Ted Lasso and Surface actor has been cast as Eret, the self-proclaimed finest dragon trapper alive. Mason Thames returns as Hiccup in the live-action sequel, which is due in theaters in June of 2027.
I'd like to walk you through for a few minutes my life and how I got here today.
Emmy and Tony winner Mandy Patinkin has had quite a life, and now he's set to play a role that's been around even longer. Patinkin has been cast as Odin, the All-Father, in God of War. The Prime Video series, based on the popular video game, is now in pre-production in Vancouver. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I'm pretty excited for this Rambo movie, but it's so like the old ones are so old looking that this one's going to be just completely different.
It'll be completely different. Yeah.
But I think it's a good casting choice.
I think so too.
They need to put Sylvester Stallone back in somehow.
Right?
Yeah, do that. Come on.
Gonna break out your headbands for this?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love a theme party.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Making a difference. A new nonprofit in the area is looking to make that difference by creating a shelter to help people experiencing homelessness. We hear from the Tri-City Alliance for the Unhoused, who's making this possible. That's coming up in your next half hour, but first, here's your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Elon Musk is reportedly planning to merge two of his companies. Reuters says talks are underway between SpaceX and the artificial intelligence business xAI, part of a plan to launch AI data centers into space. This comes amid reports that Musk is preparing to take SpaceX public. Next, Apple's soaring iPhone sales. The company says it made more than $85 billion from iPhone sales during the last 3 months of last year, its best ever quarter. Apple doesn't say exactly how many devices were sold, but CEO Tim Cook called demand simply staggering. Finally, Napster is back. Yes, Napster, which lets users share music, then faced a slew of lawsuits and ultimately went bankrupt. Now Napster is billing itself as a platform for people to join with AI musicians to create together. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Sophie Flay. Have a great day.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I did not check my outfit before meeting my girlfriend's family. Checking Allstate first was an excellent plan. Not checking which team my girlfriend rooted for? Yeah, not great. So check Allstate first, and you can save hundreds. Ex-girlfriend.
Meet my dad. National University supports all his ends with flexible online courses. He can be a student and teach me how to hit a curveball. He's an ander. National University supporting all your ends.
I don't always make her lunch, but I do always know what she has to eat.
The Tide Boosted Test.
Her daughter's shirt is dirty.
Regular detergent can't match Tide's Boosted Clean. Test passed.
Yeah.
It's cleaner, whiter, brighter, and fresher. It's got to be Tide.
Boosted!
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good Friday morning. Thanks for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Josh Colbert.
50s yet?
We'll be pretty close. Like 48, 49. Just round up, say 50.
Yeah, I like it. Sure. But are we going to continue kind of see this wet weather? Because the last couple of days we're waking up.
Oh, yeah.
It has
gross
rained.
Outside.
It has rained, yes. We'll see like little shower chances perhaps continuing through Monday, but definitely not the amount of rainfall that we need, and definitely not the amount of snowfall that we need.
I was going to say, does this rain, is it snow in the mountains right now, or is it just
it's a rain-snow mix, and the snow that we are getting isn't that much, and we'll have a lot more to say about those climate numbers coming up in about like 10-ish minutes. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at those big weather stories. We have those patchy areas of fog for this morning and tomorrow morning, and it will be mostly dry over the next 7 days. Yeah, those little shower chances, but overall for this time of the year, mostly dry, and highs will stay fairly mild in the 40s and 50s over the next 7 days. Here's a current look at the fog. We have some pretty dense areas over the Hermiston area for Boardman, and then up into the foothills, and also for the valleys of Kittitas County now. And I know that drive between Ellensburg to Yakima on I-82 is probably zero fun right about now as well. Looks like the bulk of this is probably going to lift around lunchtime, but wouldn't be surprised if some of this before then starts to filter into the Tri-Cities, and it looks as if we could deal with the same thing for tonight into tomorrow morning as well. Current look at temperatures, 30s and 40s, so well above freezing finally for the first time in I'd say probably a couple weeks. And then in terms of what we're seeing on First Alert radar, it's looking pretty dry out there for now, but we could see some additional shower chances a little bit later in the day. Case in point for the Yakima Valley, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. low end chances of rainfall. But overall, mostly dry day, very mild for this time of the year. And it's going to continue to be mostly dry for the next 7 days. We'll talk about that. And also, again, an update on some of those climate numbers. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. We start this half hour of news making a difference. A new nonprofit in the area is looking to create a low barrier shelter to help people experiencing homelessness.
Apple Valley News Now's William Albert spoke with the Tri-City Alliance for the Unhoused about their efforts on making shelter a reality for those who need a place to stay.
The Tri-City Alliance for the Unhoused is a newly formed nonprofit with the goal of bringing a low-barrier shelter to the Tri-Cities for people experiencing chronic homelessness. A low-barrier shelter would have fewer requirements for entry. People would be allowed to access the facility even if they are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, though substances and weapons would not be permitted on site. Pets would also be allowed, as long as they are not disruptive. Organizers say the goal is to remove barriers that often keep people from seeking help, while still maintaining structure and safety. And they stress this would not be an encampment, but a managed facility designed to help people regain stability.
It's going to have a building with a sleeping center, and it's going to have individual huts like the one I'm standing in front of. And it will also have shower facilities and restrooms and places for people like storage bins where they can lock up their possessions so they don't have to worry about things being stolen.
Krieg says the facility would include several outdoor Conestoga huts with the entire area fenced and monitored.
And preferably it would be a place away from schools, businesses, places of worship, and it would be in a location that had access to the bus routes so that people could go and obtain some of the services they need outside of the shelter.
Officials with the Alliance tell me that while they are still in the early stages of trying to locate a site, they tell me that they are open to all community support and collaboration with anybody who shares the same mission of serving the unhoused.
Talking to the city. We're talking to real estate agents who may know someone out there that might have land that they want to donate and give back to the community. We're talking to individuals with property that they may want to utilize, to do something beneficial for the community as well.
Snipes says the Alliance aims to be a resource that helps people get back on their feet, but he says conversations around homelessness often come with misconceptions.
You hear a lot of statements like, we don't want to be the next Portland. When it comes to homeless. We don't want to be the next Seattle when it comes to homeless. Tri-Cities has a very fortunate ability to get ahead of that curve. We can see the homelessness rate wrapping up with the climate of today's, financial climate, things like that. And we are trying to foresee some of the problems that may happen and address them at their roots.
The Tri-City Alliance for the Unhoused says the project is still in its early stages, but leaders say they remain committed to their mission of serving the community. In Richland, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
And the Alliance says similar shelters already operate in the region.
Yeah, leaders believe that this model could reduce strain on emergency services while providing a safer, more stable option for people living unhoused here in the Tri-Cities.
5:33 and taking you to Oregon now, where cleanup efforts continue at the Umatilla Marina after a fire destroyed 3 boats, releasing hazardous materials into the water. Officials say 2 boats have been removed, with the last expected to be recovered by today. The boat ramp will reopen then, but marina docks remain closed for hazmat cleanup. Anticipated to finish by February 4th, and the fire investigation has been handed over to the Oregon State Fire Marshal. Officials are asking the public to stay clear of the area, and that's to allow crews to work safely.
8:33 in a follow-up, the Kittitas Valley Fire and Rescue Team has a new interim fire chief, a familiar name in firehouses across the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now's Monique Garcia sat down with him to learn how he stepped into the role and why, even after decades in the field, he's still answering the call.
Change came quickly for Kittitas Valley Fire and Rescue. After a special meeting focused on end-of-the-year performance, the Board of Commissioners placed Fire Chief DJ Goldsmith on administrative leave. On December 23rd, following further consideration of his performance, Goldsmith was terminated from his position. Since then, the board has turned to a familiar veteran of the fire service, appointing Roy Palmer as interim fire chief.
Actually, I've served a number of times as interim fire chief in the Northwest. They reached out to me looking for an interim fire chief, and I live in Roseburg, moved up here, and I'm going to be here helping the organization out, transitioning till they get a new fire chief.
Palmer retired from his full-time firefighting career 22 years ago, but retirement didn't slow him down. Since then, he stepped in as interim chief 13 times.
I've been in the business 50 years, so I've got quite a bit of experience. Right now, it's just learning the area and then use my expertise and knowledge to assist wherever I can. They've got a great delivery model here, so I'll just enter as a command officer when I'm needed.
That experience and continued passion for service keeps him coming back.
A lot of people ask me why I keep doing it, and I just keep saying I enjoy it so much. Gives me a great deal of pleasure to give to the community, and I enjoy the opportunity to serve a community. So it's just a real goal of mine, and I've enjoyed it for many years.
Now, as interim chief for Kittitas Valley Fire and Rescue, Palmer says his first priority is listening and learning.
I'm learning the idiosyncrasies that make this organization function, learning the area. That's my primary responsibility now, is just really get my feet on the ground and really start to learn the organization from an outside perspective looking in. And so I'm just in a learning role right now.
Beyond that, Palmer says the commission has asked him to help create stability, using his experience to take an analytical look at the organization, identify areas for improvement, and help guide the department through the transition to a permanent fire chief. Reporting in Kittitas, Monique Garcia, Apple Valley News Now.
And Palmer says his contract with the fire station is set for a year. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up next, the Kamiakin High School's boys track and field coach has received a Coach of the Year award. We have more on who he is and his accomplishments when we talk sports coming up after the break.
Kraken Knights. Coverage begins at 7 Saturday on My Network TV.
It's a sellout in Philadelphia, and here we come. This morning, Robin Roberts, GMA, and some of the greatest players in women's basketball all in Philly live. And Wanda Sykes is going to be there, too. This morning will be unrivaled fun on Good Morning America.
Ellensburg is a great place to visit all year long, with awesome scenery, amazing restaurants, and unique places to shop. Let's talk with some local businesses. This is Ellensburg.
Hi, I'm Megan West, owner of Claim Clothing in downtown Ellensburg. Claim Clothing is a store located in our downtown core of Ellensburg, Washington. There is something happening all year long in Ellensburg.
Ellensburg is awesome. We have a great community. We've got a school, a university, and you've got a huge community of locals and outdoor enthusiasts that all mingle together, so we get to serve all of them. Even if you're not looking for something, people will come in here, and sometimes they'll leave with something you didn't think you needed.
So yeah, you can just come in and grab something small, or you can come in and get that really beautiful statement piece for yourself or someone who's important to you.
So if you're a cool person looking to do some cool things, check out Mountain High Sports and start planning your trip now at myellensburg.com.
Pet owners know the struggle. Your best bud can track all sorts of gunk indoors. Now there's a simple solution. It's Muddy Mat, the anti-mud mat that keeps your dog's paws clean before they make a mess inside. Use Muddy Mat under your pet's food dish, in the bathroom, even catch spills in the kitchen. Call or go online to order your Muddy Mat right away. Through this introductory offer, order 2 and get 1 free for only $19.95 each.
Ever feel like something's
Missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some, gimme Some Bagels.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino in Yakima. Experience the thrill of our Vegas-style casino, featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and earn exciting rewards. Enjoy games like Blackjack, Pai Gow, and High Card Flush. While you're here, don't forget to unwind with a drink at our cozy bar or enjoy a meal from our restaurant. Come discover Yakima's ultimate entertainment destination, Nob Hill Casino, where the locals play.
It looked like she fought, like she was talking from the grave.
Tonight,
a young girl brutally murdered.
Every single person in her life was a suspect. Oh my God.
All new 2020, tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is that time of the week once again, so let's go ahead and dive into those climate numbers, starting off with our seasonal rainfall numbers that we've been tracking since October 1st. So here are the rainfall totals that we've been tracking since then. Here are the rainfall totals you would expect during said time frame, and here are the percent differences in terms of surpluses and deficits. These numbers were all surpluses, great surpluses just a couple months back. That is not the case anymore, as we are just barely breaking even right now in the Yakima Valley. We're just barely breaking even for the Kittitas Valley and really for the lower Columbia Basin as well, although these surpluses are a little bit better, but now officially deficits anywhere between, we'll round up and say 10 to 15% for the Bluefoot Hills. So that is not great news, but this number is still looking pretty good. If you tallied up all the water that we have in our reservoirs in the Yakima Basin, we have 35% more water than you would typically expect for this time of the year. But if you look at the severe drought benchmark, that is when you have 25% less water than typical for this time of the year. We are still surpassing that by a pretty good clip, but keep this in mind, okay? When we have the snow melt as we head into the spring and summer months, if we don't have any snowpack to replenish the reservoirs, then those levels are going to go down in a hurry. And folks, look at the deficit that we have right now in the Yakima Basin. We're about 50 to 60% below where we should be for late January. This is not a great number at all, and the bad news gets even worse when you start talking about the blues. As for McKay Dam, that reservoir level right now is 30% below where it should be for this time of the year. So now we are surpassing the severe drought benchmark by about 5 percentage points. This alone would be concerning, but then you factor in the lack of snowpack we have over in this region of our viewing area. We have 60 to 70% less snow than we typically would for late January. These numbers not encouraging at all, especially when you factor in that we don't really have any snowfall in the forecast, no substantial snowfall in the forecast over the next 7 days. So as I've said now for the past few weeks, these numbers are going to have to get worse before, fingers crossed, they eventually get better. And I know our ski resorts are definitely cheering on the snowfalls. The base depth right now at Schweitzer only at 16 inches. We'll take you down to Ski Bluewood, where we're only at 23 inches here, and then for White Pass only at 22 inches. So in terms of the drought, in terms of the snowpack, in terms of our ski resorts, all of us should really be cheering on some snow, at least for higher elevations. And again, our forecast is going to stay pretty dry over the next 7 days. I'll tell you why that's the case coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Josh. 542 talking sports now this morning. The Tri-City Americans are putting their mark on the 2026 NHL draft.
3 players from the team made NHL Central Scouting's midseason rankings, and that includes forward Cruz Paveo.
Yeah, Paveo, just 18 and from Calgary, has been turning heads in this season. Recently scoring a goal and 3 assists in the American 7-3 win over the Moose Jaw, his first career 4-point game. He's racked up 23 points in 37 games and represented Team Canada at the Under-17 World Hockey Challenge, helping the red team earn a silver medal.
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, playing against guys your age, your size, compared to older guys and stuff, being a younger player, but it's really competitive, really skilled there, and it's a really good time. Really fun representing the country.
The Americans have a long history of producing NHL talent, with 69 draft picks since moving to Kennewick in 1988, including 2025 first-rounder Jackson Smith. And with Paveo and his teammates climbing the draft rankings, it looks like the franchise's reputation as a stepping stone to the NHL is stronger than ever.
In more sports news this morning, Kamiakin High School's boys track and field coach was awarded the Section 8 Coach of the Year.
Kyle Schabel led Kamiakin to the school's second state championship title in school history in 2025. So Section 8 consists of Alaska, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. So the honor distinguishes him as the Coach of the Year amongst thousands of other coaches.
It all comes down to our culture with our coaching staff. We have amazing coaches. My mother and Rexus been here since the school opened up almost. It's just a privilege to coach with them. With the athletes, they buy in and they're training behind the scenes all year round, not just during the 12-week track season.
Several members of the track team were also honored last night at the Kennewick School Board meeting for their third place finish at the Cross Country State Championships. And keep it here because coming up next, we've got your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door. And Josh is back with your full First Alert weather forecast. It's all on the other side of the break.
Living with chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine, and treatment is 4 times a year. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 91% of patients wish they'd started Botox sooner. Ask your doctor today. If eligible, you may pay $0.
Ellensburg is a great place to visit all year long. Let's talk with some local businesses. This is Ellensburg.
I'm Megan West, owner of Claim Clothing in downtown Ellensburg. Claim Clothing is a store located in our downtown core of Ellensburg, Washington. There is something happening all year long in Ellensburg.
Ellensburg is awesome. We have a great community, we've got a university, and you've got a huge community of locals and outdoor enthusiasts.
You've got great restaurants and wine, and yeah, there's a lot to do downtown in Ellensburg.
Central Washington has grown and changed over the years, and through it all, what has remained the same is the dedication of Abeyta Nelson Injury Law. Since 1982, our attorneys have been trusted by countless people in need. We listen, we care. We know what it takes to fight for justice. That's why our clients and their families return, generation after generation. Abeyta Nelson, we take your injury personally.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky. Being out in a rural area, coverage is pretty hit and miss with other carriers, so switching to T-Mobile solved a lot of problems that we had.
I'm able to use T-Satellite now. We've got coverage no matter where we're at.
America's best network meets off-the-grid satellite coverage with T-Satellite. And now, for a limited time, get our most value-packed plan ever. Families can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
Stacy Lee. First Alert Weather. Watch tonight. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Our forecast is going to be unusually dry for this time of the year, thanks to these areas of high pressure that are kind of working in tandem with each other on the west coast, and this is going to act as an active weather force field, and it's going to send a lot of these storm systems around us, or it's going to break said storm systems apart. Speaking of, right now on First Alert Radar, you can see this boundary. It's trying to produce some sort of moisture, but it's really just having a hard time. So most of us are dry for this morning, and most of us are going to continue to be dry throughout the day, and we'll show you that with Futurecast Radar. Now look, there will be low-end chances of showers throughout the region for today, especially as we head into the afternoon, but I do think a lot of us are going to end up being dry. And then as we head into Saturday morning, it looks as if there's another round that could maybe bring us some light showers as well. Most of the day on Saturday is going to end up being dry and we could even see a decent amount of sunshine, at least in some microclimates. But then as we head into Sunday morning, here comes another round, bringing some moderate to heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of snow mixing in for the mountains. And it looks as if lower elevations will stay mostly dry during the day on Sunday. Now, for the Yakima Valley, I am going with a 10% chance of rainfall for Sunday and Monday. So we're not completely ruling it out, but it's only a 10% chance. And overall, the forecast continuing to stay oh so dry for late January and early February. And the high temperatures staying abnormally mild for this time of the year, continuing to stay in the 40s and 50s. So for today, we will end up being in the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, even seeing some 40s and 50s in the blues. Then for tonight, all of us dropping down into the 30s and 40s. Those high temperatures will gradually warm up in the Yakima Valley up to 50 degrees by the time we get to Tuesday, maybe even a touch warmer by Thursday. That'll put us at about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. And those overnight lows are going to hover right around freezing, not really budging much at all over the next 7 nights. So it's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Small shower chances today, then an abnormally dry and mild forecast to start February. In Yakima, we could see small rain chances come back for Sunday and Monday. Then for Ellensburg, the same thing that we're tracking in the Yakima Valley. Small shower chances today, then maybe more for Sunday and Monday. For Hermiston, maybe a shower or two for today, but then turning dry once again, with highs mostly hovering around 50. And finally, for Walla Walla, the possibility of a few light showers Friday and Sunday, but an otherwise dry stretch over the next 7 days.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time now, 5:50. Time for your morning sprint, starting with the top 5 local things that you need to know this morning. First up, the proposed level 3 sex offender transition home in Kennewick continues to draw pushback from neighbors. The home's operator says a rural Findlay location didn't work, claiming the Benton County Sheriff's Office told them that wasn't an option. But Sheriff Michael Clark says that's not completely accurate. He says his office doesn't have the power to block where the home goes. He also says it's likely the Findlay property just didn't meet resource requirements, but he clarified it was not the law enforcement objections. He added that any changes would have to come from lawmakers.
And residents in Richland could face potential utility rate increases for the first time in more than a decade. Leaders are currently looking over sewer, stormwater, and solid waste rates. This comes after a study found current charges no longer cover service costs. They say the increases are necessary to replace aging infrastructure and also maintain service levels. But no decisions have been made yet, as this will first go through a public review process.
And the Kittitas Valley Fire and Rescue Team is now adjusting to new leadership after appointing Roy Palmer as interim fire chief. Move follows a special board meeting by the Board of Commissioners, and that's when previous fire chief DJ Goldsmith was placed on administrative leave and then terminated. Now, Palmer brings decades of experience and has served as interim chief multiple times before when the department was in transition. His contract with the fire station is set for a year.
And cleanup efforts continue at the Umatilla Marina in Oregon after a fire destroyed 3 of the boats, causing them to release hazardous materials into the water. At this time, 2 boats have been removed, and the last one is expected to be recovered today. Officials say the boat ramp will reopen after that, but marina docks will stay closed for hazmat cleanup, and that's expected to wrap up by February 4th. Now, regarding the investigation into the fire, it's been handed over to the Oregon State Fire Marshal.
Well, students from at least 5 Tri-Cities high schools say they plan to do a walkout of class today, all in protest of the actions of ICE. Students at Kamiakin High School were among the first to organize the protest, saying they got inspiration from last week's walkouts at Pasco and Delta high schools. Protests are also organized by students at Hanford, Richland, Kennewick, and Southridge.
In your national headlines this morning, a Minnesota man is in custody, charged with trying to break Luigi Mangione out of jail by impersonating an FBI agent. Law enforcement says 36-year-old Mark Anderson arrived at the detention center claiming to be a federal agent with the court order to release Mangione. Prison officials asked for his credentials, but the man provided his Minnesota driver's license, and they say he threw paperwork at the officers and claimed to have weapons in his backpack. A search uncovered a barbecue-style fork and a circular steel blade. Law enforcement says it's not clear whether or how Anderson may be connected to Mangione.
5:53 in your business headlines this morning. Wired headphones are having a comeback in some circles. Athletes, musicians, and actors are among the A-listers who've been spotted in them. The December New York Magazine cover features celebrities sharing wired earbuds on the subway. The rich and famous might not care that they're cheaper than some Bluetooth models, but average people might. Wired headphones also are hard to hack and less likely to fall out or require charging.
In your health headlines this morning, Americans are living longer than ever. According to the CDC, and officials say overall life expectancy in the U.S. rose to 79 years in 2024. They say this is the highest that age has ever been, and it comes in part to a drop in COVID-19 and drug overdose deaths. The findings also show women can still expect to live a little longer than men. However, the gap between the genders is getting a little bit smaller.
5:53 talking sports this morning as U.S. gymnast Jordan Chiles has won a major battle in her fight to keep her Olympic bronze medal. Her medal was revoked at the 2024 Paris Olympics due to her coach's scoring inquiry that was said to have been made outside of the time limit. Chiles, however, says that they have video evidence that the coach's inquiry was made within the time. Just yesterday, the Swiss Federal Tribunal granted her appeal, saying the video evidence deserves review, and that means the case can go forward in a lower court. It's unclear at this point when that new hearing will take place.
Trending now this morning, Kendall Jenner is taking shots at her exes while highlighting sports betting in her first ever Super Bowl ad.
Oh, this is funny.
I love this.
I've
Too funny.
seen this, yeah. The supermodel pokes fun at her past relationships in the new ad for Fanatics Sportsbook about the infamous Kardashian curse.
The campaign sees her lean into the long-running internet joke that any basketball player who romantically associates themselves with the Kardashians is subject to consequences, as in they end up hitting a rough patch.
And in the ad, she talks about placing bets on her NBA ex-boyfriends and winning big as she shows off her luxury lifestyle featuring a mansion, vintage car, and a private jet.
As she laughingly says, "How else do you think I could afford all this?"
The ad will run during the Super Bowl on Sunday, February 8th.
And then she jokes again at the end. She goes, "Kardashian?
Yeah,
that's not even my last name."
Yeah, she's a Jenner. I love this for her.
I do too. I think it's great.
This is what the kind of ads she should be doing.
I think so too. And she really does have a fun, just kind of laid back vibe.
Seems
and
like
personality.
Yeah, we know her. You know,
because we're friends, clearly.
But no, I get that from her too.
I think it'll be fun. All right, and that, Super Bowl ads. I mean, we're starting to see some of them roll out. We're
going
getting
to see some
peeks.
more. Yeah.
I wonder if Guy Fieri is going to be making.
Ooh, yeah, because we need an explanation still.
I hope so.
We still don't know why. So
I know.
Tell us, Guy.
We'll find out. Okay, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, we're learning more about what the Benton County Sheriff's Office is saying about the proposed group home for sex offenders in Kennewick. Plus, how a similar home almost opened on the west side of the state and how residents there were able to stop it.
And almost Super Bowl time, so that means more ads. We're getting a sneak peek at some more iconic ads, one with Mr. McConaughey and Parker Posey.
I love it already. I don't even know what they're saying, and I love it already.
It looks amazing. It looks like White Lotus. We're gonna have more on this in our 6 o'clock hour. And Josh, what are you tracking?
Look at that. You can see that kind of glare in the
Misty.
streetlights. It looks like the fog is starting to come down to the basins. We're tracking the fog. And not much rain in the forecast, but I'll show you what we do have coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.